The first time I touched a gun, I scored a perfect shot from 6,000 meters away. But on the day of my awakening, I was permanently banned from touching weapons. Not only was the armory locked down from me around the clock, even toy guns were listed as prohibited items. All because my activation condition was actually to fire a full 100 million bullets. For this reason, my instructors took turns trying to persuade me to give up this class. Even the military bigwigs determined this was an impossible task, and I could only stay holed up at school for 5 years, refusing to graduate no matter what, because only the school's virtual training room was available for my use. And just today, I've already fired 99,999,900 bullets, only the last 100 remaining. At this moment, I take a deep breath, pick up the machine gun beside me and frantically spray bullets at the shooting wall. A full 5 years. In this world invaded by game monsters everywhere, all adults only have a 30% chance of awakening a class. Every year, tens of thousands of awakened ones die on the battlefield. You can imagine how thick-skinned I had to be over 5 years to refuse to graduate no matter what. At this moment, a familiar mocking sound came from behind me. Without even turning around, I knew it was those few students from school who successfully changed jobs coming to watch again. Seniors pretending to be hardworking again. My little brother is 2 years younger than you. He's already attending the Awake and you're still here playing with toy guns. Have successfully activated the Transcendent Class Sky Sovereign Gunsmith. Class Talent Mechanical Ascension. Your class skills include all gunner-type awakening skills. Your information cannot be forcibly viewed. You also cannot be harmed by your own skills. Passive skill. World Arsenal. When energy is insufficient, you can release a skill once at no cost. Active skill, Annihilation Ray. Drops 18 Annihilation Energy Rays each with a diameter of 100 meters from the sky. Attacks and locks onto enemies according to the user's will. Full release awakening skill. So this is what it feels like to have a cheat ability. At this moment, my heart is incredibly satisfied. I immediately set off for the Secret Realm Hall to take the graduation exam. At this moment, the hall was filled with noise and excitement. Countless Star Realm class changers came to challenge the exam's secret realm. Next, the staff member called out without even lifting their head. But when I stepped forward, the surroundings suddenly went quiet for a moment, then burst into whispers. Isn't that the waste who repeated 5 years at Jiangchuan High School? He actually really activated a class. I thought he would be a mascot for life. Just a gunsmith. It's not even a rare class. I ignored these discussions and walked straight toward the teleportation formation. A flash of light passed. I was teleported to the Goblin Secret Realm. This is a vast forest. In the distance stands a goblin castle. The other class changers around had already started cursing and grinding monsters. But nobody was willing to team up with a waste who had just activated a class. But this was just the right chance to test the power of my new skill. I walked to a high slope, raised my thumb to measure the distance, finally locked the target onto the center of the Goblin Castle. Annihilation Ray. The brief words fell. The entire area erupted with violent energy particle fluctuations. 18 massive energy pillars each, with a diameter of 100 meters descended from the sky, and crashed thunderously into the Goblin Castle. The thunderous energy pillars spun and spread. Everything in their path was annihilated. Tens of thousands of Goblin troops vanished in an instant. The surviving students fled frantically in absolute terror. And my experience chain shot up like crazy. Ding. Congratulations, your level has risen to level 41. Level 41 in one shot. So satisfying. Then I activated my storage bracelet. Swept up the tens of thousands of equipment and items scattered everywhere. Along with that gleaming golden S-rank completion token in an instant. And when I exited the collapsed secret realm, the entire hall fell completely silent. Everyone stared at me like they were looking at a monster. The staff member's record board fell to the ground with a clatter. S-rank evaluation. The staff member stuttered. How is this possible? At this moment, the atmosphere in Jiangchuan High School staff office was somewhat awkward. Several teachers were gathered together discussing how to persuade me, this repeated year waste, to drop out. In my opinion, he is just afraid of dying. Staying any longer will only damage our school's reputation. Yes, we need to find a way to make him drop out on his own. Just at this moment, the office door was pushed open. I walked in. Teacher Chin. I want to apply for graduation. I gently placed that golden token engraved with dragon patterns on the desk. The 3 glaring SS letters on the token made the entire office instantly fall dead silent. The teachers who were just talking loudly moments ago now had stiff expressions. An S-rank completion token. They gasped sharply. Their gazes shifted from contempt to shock. I'm sorry. It took this long to get this evaluation. I was still too slack. I said with a sigh. As soon as these words came out, all the teachers turned dark-faced, roaring inside their hearts. I paid no more attention to them, waved goodbye, and left the school. With such a cheat ability, university is no longer my first choice. Then I opened the skill tree interface. The skill tree on the panel slowly expanded. The branches stretching on the tree were filled with one unique awakening skill after another. I selected 2 new skills. 1. Earth-shaking slaughter. Passive skill. All bullets have explosive effects. Snapping a finger can detonate all bullets that have hit their target. Explosion power grows with strength. Every 100 points of strength equals 1 ton of TNT. Armor penetration effect increased by 120%. Quantum moon step. Movement skill. Feet stepping on moonlight. Instant flash in midair. Can achieve instant step, midair chain jumps, and super speed movement. After the skill activates, the body can become quantized. Cannot be targeted for 10 seconds. And learning these 2 skills requires a full 200 million gold coins. But I was not flustered at all. I opened the trading house, listed all the tens of thousands of equipment and items obtained in the Goblin Secret Realm at a 10% discount, almost instantly. My personal panel was flooded with successful transaction emails. Account balance shot up to 340 million. After learning the skills, I then spent over 100 million to purchase a complete set of legendary equipment, as well as a pair of dual guns with the infinite bullets trait, with the bonus from the complete equipment set. My attributes experienced an unprecedented explosion. Strength reached an astonishing 2150 points. I was even too lazy to go to the teleportation formation for the Black Rock volcano trigger, directly activated quantum moonstep. My figure turned into a streak of light, racing toward the Black Rock volcano 200 kilometers away. Below, a group of newly graduated students were struggling to surround and attack monsters in their teens levels. They only saw a figure so fast it was blurry sweep past overhead. The air shockwave from the footsteps instantly shattered the elite monster they had been fighting hard against for a long time. Oh my, the big shot just passed by and instantly killed the monster. The students were dumbfounded, scrambling to grab the drops gifted by the big shot. I quickly arrived at the Black Rock volcano. The place was filled with level 60 monsters. Just as I landed, a level 60 obsidian giant shot lasers from its eyes. The fire spirit lizard nearby also spewed venom. And dozens of attacks came pouring in from afar. I just stood there quietly. My body suddenly became phantom-like as if a ghost. All attacks passed through my body, exploding with a tremendous boom on the mountain range behind. Quantization is indeed quite interesting. After the 10-second invincibility ended, I drew my dual guns from my waist. This group of monsters instantly sensed the threat of death and turned to flee. Too late. The dual guns in my hands spat out explosive tongues of fire, instantly riddling the monster horde with holes like a beehive. As the experience bar jumped, I leveled up twice in a row. But I was not satisfied. Ordinary monsters are still too weak. I turned my gaze toward that massive and towering volcano in the distance. There is a Stone Lord Spirit Master level Lord Fortress there. At this moment inside the volcano, a 100-man elite team on the verge of collapse was being surrounded and attacked by tens of thousands of monsters. The Stone Lord Lava Beast Lord displayed overwhelming power. Their strength had gone berserk for some reason, and also possessed terrifying recovery abilities. Full retreat. The team leader howled in despair. But it was too late. They were now completely surrounded. At this moment, a figure strolled in leisurely, elegantly spinning dual guns in hand, as if taking a walk in their own backyard. Brother, run quickly. There is the Lord's divine authority domain here. Once you enter, there is no escaping by ordinary means. Quickly help us save our soldiers. Someone shouted at me. I ignored them. I walked into the battlefield under everyone's terrified gazes. The next second, I charged into the monster horde like lightning. Shell casings flew like a storm of rain. My movements were as dazzling as a work of death art, spinning upside down in midair, firing with both hands. The bullets precisely avoided allies and riddled the small monsters with holes. Even the Lord-level lava beast was howling in pain from my shots. The 100-man team watched with their jaws dropped, taking the opportunity to frantically break through and escape. But the lava beast lord let out a roar and activated a group skill. All the dead small monsters instantly revived. The people who escaped through the cave entrance shouted upon seeing this. Brother, run. These monsters cannot be killed. But I leaped up and landed on a protruding rock, then put away my dual guns. You all better step back further. Do you want to watch my art? Everyone was stunned. They watched as I faced the roaring monster army below and lightly snapped my fingers. Art is explosion. In an instant, the tens of thousands of bullets I had just fired into the monsters' bodies all detonated simultaneously. The terrifying explosions from the inside out blasted the entire Black Rock volcano into the sky. A massive mushroom cloud rose into the air. Congratulations. Level has risen to level 50. My experience chain exploded again. But I had my brows tightly furrowed, because I discovered that the most crucial Stone Lord Spirit Master monsters didn't even have a single kill notification. Big Shot, may I ask which guild you are from? This time we really owe it to you for stepping in. The smoke and dust from the explosion had not yet cleared. The male team leader brought his members over to express gratitude. At least an elder of a major guild. Could it be the Mechanical Alliance? That's the top guild in the Imperial capital. I now finally understand what a true marksman is. Those of us who use bows compared to a gunsmith are complete amateurs. The team members whispered among themselves. Suddenly, the ground shook violently again. The volcano crater that had been blasted into a deep pit spewed out enormous black energy. The 100-man team members felt chills all over their bodies as soon as they sensed this aura. They had nearly been wiped out earlier, precisely because the monsters here were contaminated with this strange black energy. And now the source of the black energy rumbled. A massive skull head, 100 meters tall, drilled up from underground. The souls of the freshly dead lava beasts floated around it. So it was you who ruined my plans. I pulled out my dual guns again. When everyone looked up and saw the information of that sky-covering skull head, their legs instantly went weak. Death Knight skull, level 366. And all other attributes were question marks. The Ancient Lord's Death Knight became a headless knight after its head was severed. And this is the important missing skull of the Death Knight. We're done for. Some people directly collapsed to the ground. The Death Knight is a terrifying existence that can contend with national-level disaster beasts. I heard the top 10 guilds joined forces, and lost 6 elders before taking it down. Who could have thought his skull was hiding here, and caused all the monsters in the entire area to mutate? At this moment, ghost fire of ghostly blue ignited in the skull's eye sockets. Prepare to die. A roar shook everyone's ears and eyes with pain. The massive jaw opened, and endless darkness instantly swallowed everything for miles around. And the entire Black Rock City was shrouded in sudden darkness. Residents fell into panic one after another. At this moment on the city wall, a middle-aged man with a full beard tightly furrowed his brows, staring fixedly into the distance. The Death Knight's skill? Wasn't it already eliminated? And he is the current lord of Black Rock City. His heart was filled with unease at this moment. If the Death Knight has truly revived, strength alone absolutely cannot stop it. Quite interesting. An undead monster's remains actually escaped to our place. Suddenly, an aged voice sounded behind him. The city lord quickly turned around and found a white-haired elder wearing martial arts robes standing with his hands behind his back gazing into the distance. Old city lord, weren't you in seclusion attempting your 6th class advancement? The middle-aged city lord quickly stepped forward and bowed, his tone respectful. The elder stroked his goatee and narrowed his eyes, saying, "The undead spirits have come to our doorstep. What seclusion is there to continue?" Then he paused. Chen Shang instructs, "To be safe, quickly contact class changers from nearby cities and request reinforcements." The scene returns to the Black Rock volcano area. A blood-red moon hung high in the sky. The Death Knight's skull opened its massive mouth and let out a earth-shaking roar. The originally dead lava beasts and other monsters all revived in ghost form. They were wrapped all over in ghostly blue fire, their strength even greater than when alive. And their skills became even more eerie and terrifying. We're done for. These monsters are even stronger than before. The 100-man team's faces turned ashen. They couldn't even beat ordinary lava beasts. Now facing the undead-enhanced versions, they had absolutely no chance of winning. 2 lava beasts stomped down. The ground within 10 kilometers instantly cracked apart. Countless ghost fire pillars shot up into the sky. The crowd in the back was sent flying by the shockwave. Screams of agony rose one after another. Their condition had not yet recovered. They absolutely could not withstand attacks of this level. But the Death Knight's skull did not stop. It opened its massive mouth and devoured all the souls of the weaker monsters around it. With the gathering of countless lost souls, a terrifying hellish elite evil spirit slowly took form. Ghost Umbrella Lolita, elite monster. Level 61. A Lolita holding a red paper umbrella and wearing a black Lolita dress slowly descended. She licked her lips, her crimson pupils flickering with dangerous light. Everyone almost cursed out loud. These stats are even more monstrous than the Lord-level monsters. Where is that Gunsmith big shot? The female fighter and the team anxiously looked around in all directions. The only one who could save them now was that mysterious big shot, while I was just casually spinning my handgun. With a faint smile hanging at the corner of my mouth, the more monsters Death Knight skull summons, the happier I am. After all, these are all free experience and equipment. Human. As long as you beg me, I can consider taking you as my slave. The Ghost Umbrella Lolita tilted her head and sized me up with great interest. She could sense the powerful karmic aura on my body. This made her very interested. Try harder? I let out a scoffing laugh. You really know how to pick people. As long as you catch some humans for me to eat every day. And help lick my feet clean, by the way. I glanced at her with disgust. Sorry. I have no interest in smelly feet. The Ghost Umbrella Lolita's hair instantly shot up. She was just about to raise her red umbrella when a gunshot rang out. The Lolita's umbrella holding arm snapped in response. A sharp scream pierced the sky. How long did you train this accuracy? Everyone watched with their jaws dropped. After all, ordinary gunners mainly rely on skill damage output. Who would specifically train basic attack accuracy? And at this moment, the Death Knight's skull roared. A sun-like dazzling ball of light condensed in its mouth. I calmly raised my thumb, measuring and estimating the distance. Annihilation ray. The words had barely fallen when a pillar of light descended from the sky. The level 300 plus Death Knight skull was instantly pierced through like it was made of paper. First kill of the Death Knight skull. Obtained 10,980,000 experience points. Level has risen to the level 60 cap. Please complete the 2nd class advancement breakthrough as soon as possible. The darkness quickly retreated, making the old city lord and current city lord of Black Rock City, who had rushed over, stare at each other in disbelief. That monster that released the domain has been dealt with. The old city lord's cloudy eyes were filled with shock. And at this moment, in the distance, I was tallying up the loot. Obtained legendary item 10,000 soul golden spirit. Obtained hero level equipment undead arm guard. Then with a tap of my foot, quantum moonstep activated. My figure instantly vanished. What was that just now? The old city lord's pupils suddenly contracted. With his level of strength, he could barely make out that it was a young gunner. Senior. The middle-aged city lord asked in confusion. It's nothing. Let's go check on the situation first. When they arrived at the scene, the 100-man team was still immersed in shock. A gunner raised his hand and wiped out that evil spirit. The team leader excitedly reported, but found that I had already left. The old city lord gasped sharply. So that powerful person who instantly killed the evil spirit was the young man he had just seen. Who would have thought there was a class changer of this level within our territory? On my side, I once again arrived at the class advancement hall. Hello. I'd like to take on a second advancement quest. I handed my identity card to the twin-tailed girl at the front desk. Then the girl led me to the class advancement stone tablet. I rubbed my hands together, full of anticipation. After all, as long as the second advancement succeeds, I can learn even more powerful skills and get a free 1,000 attribute points. I had no hesitation at all and directly pressed my hand onto the stone tablet. The panel immediately popped up with the advancement quest requirements. 1. Clear the level 60 Secret Realm Witch Forest. Rating must reach SS level. 2. Win 100 consecutive matches in the ladder arena. Oh my. No wonder so many people get stuck at the second advancement. Just the SS level rating requirement alone is enough to drive away a huge crowd of people. And 100 consecutive wins in the ladder is absurdly extreme. But for me, none of this is a problem. I casually accepted the quest. Amid the twin-tailed girl's farewell wishes to see you in about half a year, I calmly replied thanks. My quest is pretty simple. Won't take long. After saying that, I turned and left, heading straight for the Witch Forest. Just arriving there, I casually sold all the equipment I'd farmed at the Blackrock volcano. Account balance shot straight up to 1.1 billion. Then immediately on the skill tree. Spent just a little to unlock a new skill. 1,000-hand Cyber Guanyin. The user summons a Cyber Guanyin mech, manufactured by Celestial Technology to fight. The mech comes with powerful built-in skills. After the user leaves the mech, they can detonate its core energy at any time, knocking an electronic wooden fish to activate the Cyber Guanyin. This actually works. My eyes lit up brilliantly. This can not only be used as a tank in battle, but also used as a nuclear bomb. This is true manly romance. Learning completed. I dove headfirst into the Witch Forest teleportation gate. Just as I entered, thousands of sonic bats came buzzing and fluttering over, and drew in a large pack of wolf demons. But I couldn't even be bothered to lift my eyelids. Directly activated Quantum Moonstep's Phantom State, letting all attacks pass through my body. Cyber Mech mode activated. Countless mech fragments appeared out of thin, wrapping around me, instantly forming a Mechelzen Hanyin nearly 100 meters tall. I sat in the cockpit looking at the dozen or so skill buttons on the control panel, so satisfying I almost burst out laughing. I controlled the Cyber Guanyin, using the most basic normal attack. Hundreds of mechanical arms, each holding giant Dharma weapons, delivering a fierce barrage of smacks to everything around. The sonic bats, along with the dead trees they inhabited, were smacked into pieces. Groups of wolf demons were directly smashed into meat paste. Has dealt tons of damage. Rating upgraded to sea level. I exclaimed with great satisfaction. So many arms attacking simultaneously. If this were in Naruto, it would be the universe-destroying ultimate technique 1,000 hands. But in my case, sorry, it's just my basic attack. To get the SS rating, I have only one target. That is the Spirit Master at the deepest part of the secret realm. I drove this massive mech, like a steamroller, charging and crashing through the Witch Forest, at the same time alarming the other class changers inside the secret realm. Oh my, what the hell is that thing? Deep in the secret realm. Several teams of class changers looked at that strange creation in the distance that looked both like a Buddha and a mech. Everyone was scared stiff. Guanyin mech. I have never heard of such a monster. Do you remember the news from Blackrock City? An evil spirit just appeared there? This Iron Guanyin couldn't also be something of the same level, right? Look at the direction it's heading. It's going straight for the secret realm's corrupted giant dragon. Are two bosses about to clash, or are they planning to join forces? Panic quickly spread, and this group of awakened ones dared not be careless at all. Immediately sent out the highest level alert to the outside world through emergency communication tools. The command headquarters received the message, and immediately sounded the sharp, piercing alarm. A communications officer rushed frantically into the office of Supreme Commander Xiaoqing. The Imperial Capital's military commander rushed over with an urgent request for support. An unprecedented mysterious lord has appeared in the Witch Forest, suspected to be a celestial creature. Upon hearing the Xiaoqing's expression darkened, he immediately rushed up to the command platform and issued the shortest possible command to the tens of thousands of elite soldiers urgently assembled below. All soldiers at second advancement and above depart immediately. A mysterious lord in the form of a Mech Guanyin has appeared in the Witch Forest. Threat level maximum. We must investigate immediately and prevent it from joining forces with the corrupted giant dragon. The words fell. Tens of thousands of battle-hardened soldiers had solemn expressions, turning into a torrent, racing at full speed toward the Witch Forest. And at this moment I still had no idea I had already been treated as an unknown monster, threatening the Imperial Capital's safety. Just kept driving my new toy, racing all the way. Finally, at the very center of the forest, I saw the target. The corrupted giant dragon with its entire body rotting. Without much talk, the corrupted giant dragon immediately spat out massive poison. Everything around the dragon's breath instantly withered, but this had absolutely no effect on my celestial metal mech. Retreat quickly. These two bosses are fighting each other. This was a group of Awakener families responsible for this area. Originally wanted to challenge this dragon for an SS rating, but instead got trapped inside a cave. Now, seeing an opportunity, they immediately took the chance to escape. But before leaving, they witnessed a scene they would never forget for the rest of their lives. They watched as the Cyberguanyan mech treated it like swatting a bug. All 1,000 hands fired together, grabbed the corrupted giant dragon's tail, and slammed it against the ground over and over. The corrupted giant dragon was instantly smashed into meat paste, but immediately revived through dark magic. I was just trying to help you die sooner and be reborn. You're quite stubborn. I got up from the driver's seat and left the mech, at the same time setting the self-destruct program for half a minute later. The mech is about to explode. I'm getting out of here first. I shouted toward the class changers watching from afar, although they still had blank expressions on their faces. But their legs were running incredibly fast. 30 seconds later, a massive explosion swallowed everything. The Cyberguanyan's core energy facility turned into a crimson flame stretching several kilometers, erupting thunderously in the secret realm. Congratulations. Killed corrupted giant dragon. Obtained SS rating. First stage of advancement quest completed. I activated quantum phantom mode, quietly appreciating the art of this explosion. And the aftershock of the explosion even burst out of the secret realm entrance, sending the 10,000-strong army and Shao King who had rushed to support flying backwards. By the time they charged into the secret realm, they only saw a scorched wasteland. Not even a single piece of equipment dropped by monsters remained. And at this moment I had long since collected all the loot, returned to Jiangchuan City, and was ready to begin the second stage of the quest. Arena 100 win streak. I opened the quest panel. The second advancement requirement popped up. Achieve a 100 win streak in the latter arena. Failure midway resets the count. Lose just once and you have to start over. I don't know which genius came up with this hellish quest. For others, this is basically equivalent to a death sentence. After all, classes counter each other. Nobody can guarantee they can keep winning. But for me, whatever assassin or warrior, they're all just one magazine's worth of bullets. But I still looked up the rules online and found them quite interesting. For fairness, the arena hides participants' true identities. The matching range is nationwide. You can even do one versus many. One person challenging a 10-person team. Winning counts as 10 consecutive wins. This made my eyes light up. This is wonderfully convenient. After learning enough, I directly headed out to the city's arena to compete. When I reached the front desk, the staff enthusiastically handled the procedures for me, then handed me a competition nameplate worth 100,000 purple gold coins. This little thing guarantees participants won't actually die inside. At most, just 100% pain feedback. I took the nameplate without even glancing at the 1 versus 1 teleportation gate, and walked straight toward the most remote 1 versus 10 teleportation gate. Sir, you've gone the wrong way. That one is for challenging 10 people alone. The staff member quickly called out to remind me, and nearby people were all whispering among themselves. Didn't go wrong. I waved my hand, and stepped into the teleportation gate without looking back. As light flickered, I was teleported to a pure white preparation space. Ding. Please choose an arena name for yourself. I thought for a moment, and casually typed in the 2 characters Peerless. Ding. Match successful. Your opponent is the Running Wolf Squad, and on the other side the entire Running Wolf Squad was dumbfounded. They were at least among the top 100 and level 60 ladder teams, yet their opponent this time is actually only one person at the same time. This 1 versus 10 match instantly attracted countless spectators. Countless viewers flooded into the livestream. We have a newcomer daring to do 1v10, and the opponent is even Zhao Richin. That Running Wolf Squad are veterans who deliberately stay stuck at level 60 without advancing just to get titles. 99% of viewers placed their bets on the Running Wolf Squad, and at this moment Zhao Richin was also talking to his teammates with a displeased expression. A mere Gunsmith dares to challenge us. Who does the matching system think it's looking down on? The countdown ended. Both sides were teleported onto the arena and took scattered positions. Zhao Richin immediately shouted. The Running Wolf Squad instantly spread out, taking up the most professional anti-Gunsmith formation, while I just leisurely drew my dual guns and swept a round of basic attacks at them, starting with a basic attack. Are you kidding me, kid? Zhao Richin burst out laughing, and the viewers shifted from shock to mockery. But the next second, I lightly snapped my fingers. Remember, gunmanship is also a kind of magic. Then, those dozens of seemingly powerless bullets, the moment they touched the Running Wolf Squad members, transformed into dozens of miniature bombs. With a thunderous boomfire filled the sky and swallowed the entire Running Wolf Squad. Running Wolf Squad all eliminated. Peerless wins this PK. Cumulative 10 win streak. The entire livestream went dead silent for 3 seconds, then was instantly flooded with messages. Is this still a Gunsmith? He's practically a nuclear bomb expert. Soon the second match began. The opponent was the Far East National Top 10 team. New viewers seeing the massive odds difference all frantically bet on the Far East Squad, while veteran viewers grinned slyly and bet the opposite. The result was still 3 seconds. Still 1 snap of the fingers, 1 mushroom cloud. Far East Squad all eliminated. Peerless wins this PK. Cumulative 20 win streak. New viewers watching the universe-destroying explosion on screen. Their jaws nearly dropped off. They finally understood the true meaning of truth only exists within firing range. Next came National 8th place, 7th place, World 5th place, 3rd place. First place, 10,000 God Squad all eliminated. Peerless wins this PK. Cumulative 100 win streak. I looked at my arena points that had skyrocketed to 2.01 million and the newly obtained Arena King title, as well as the all-attribute boost of 1,000. I nodded in satisfaction. I'm just doing a class advancement and I can already take first place. Not bad at all. Then I returned to the class advancement hall, and the twin-tailed girl was so shocked upon seeing me that she couldn't speak properly. You completed the quest this fast. Not hard at all. Just a matter of one skill. I smiled and said. Then came to the stone tablet to submit the quest. 2 second advancement class options appeared before me. Champion Gunsmith and Spirit Gunsmith. 1 all-rounded. 1 pure brute force. I had no hesitation at all, and directly chose the former. After all, technology is the future. Violence is just one of many means. Ding. Congratulations on advancing to 10,000 layer Gunsmith. Obtained 1,000 attribute points. Feeling the explosively growing power within my body, I opened my attribute panel. Strength had already shot up to over 4,800 points. 1 bullet with the power of 48 tons of TNT. In the future, I can truly use nuclear bombs as basic attacks. After completing all the procedures, I left the class advancement hall. Just returning home and opening the door, I heard the thunderous TV sound coming from the living room. And my lazy aunt was sprawled on the sofa without any dignity, eating snacks while watching a show. I couldn't even be bothered to complain about why she doesn't go to work. Asking would just get the reply I enjoy freeloading. By the way, Auntie, I activated a class. I took the opportunity to report this matter. Jiang Shiyu's hand holding the snacks paused for a moment, then said lazily, Fine, it's good that you activated one. Since you've become a class changer, then in a couple of days you must also go back to your hometown once. Fine, I muttered in my heart. After all growing up this long, I had never heard my parents mention this matter. Don't ask. You'll understand when the time comes, Jiang Shiyu said vaguely. By the way, what is the class you activated called? Gunsmith, I replied concisely, and turned to go into the kitchen to prepare dinner. As for the trivial matter of whether to attend university, I had no intention of telling her at all. And in the living room, Jiang Shiyu watched my retreating figure, the corner of her mouth curling into a meaningful smile. This kid is actually hiding something from me, and trying to change the subject. A hint of curiosity flashed in her eyes, and she silently cast information survey on me. If I turned around at this moment, my jaw would definitely drop in shock. After all, nobody would think that my lazy dog aunt is actually a super powerhouse with a level exceeding 700. And the world in her eyes instantly became digitized. The information of everyone on the street was completely visible, but when her gaze fell on me, she only saw a field of chaos. What the heck? I actually cannot see through his information. Jiang Shiyu's face was filled with disbelief, but she refused to accept it. A faint blue light rose in her eyes. Deploying the stronger super survey technique. In an instant, all electromagnetic signals within several miles were completely cut off. I, who was chopping vegetables, only noticed the range hood stop with a clunk, and Jiang Shiyu's expression completely changed from relaxed to grave. Still not working. Interesting. This kid must have advanced to some incredible class, or encountered some heaven-defying opportunity. And at dinner time, Jiang Shiyu pulled out a pure black card from her bag and pushed it toward me. Here. This was given by a friend. Consider it Auntie paying you back for all the meals these years. I took the card in confusion, but froze after just one glance. It was a guild application card for Mechanical Maze City. Oh my. A top guild application card. I looked at her in shock. Auntie, what kind of background does your friend have? Humph. There are plenty of people pursuing your auntie. What does this little thing count as? Jiang Shiyu smiled smugly, and after finishing dinner, I quickly went back to my room to research. But the information online surprised me even more. This Mechanical Maze City is not only one of the top 3 guilds in the country. Member benefits are also explosively good. Most importantly, they are extremely protective of their own. For this, I made up my mind. Go apply tomorrow. After all, it would be a waste not to take advantage of this opportunity. The next morning, I was browsing the news, but found that all the headlines were about myself. Shocking. Mysterious powerhouse's bullets comparable to nuclear bombs achieves 100 win streak. The entire internet begging for Peerless Grandmaster's contact information. Cyber Guanyin shockingly appears at Black Rock Volcano, a new type of celestial monster. I was instantly dumbfounded. Even the video of me activating the mech was captured by someone, and was even treated by netizens as a monster that ran down from the celestial realm. With this much commotion, there will probably be more and more people targeting me. I still need to quickly improve my strength. Before going out, I opened the skill tree unlocked after the second advancement, and my gaze quickly locked onto 2 new skills. Eye of Revelation. Passive skill. Can ignore level and information hiding. View all target information. Costs 500 million gold coins. Bullet time. can actively slow down the world in one's eyes. The more mental energy consumed, the higher the slowdown multiplier. Costs 500 million gold coins. Oh my, this passive is incredible. This bullet time is just like in the Matrix. As long as my mental energy is sufficient, even the speed of light can be slowed to a snail's pace for me. I spent 1 billion without hesitation, and learned these two godlike skills. Then I arrived at the Mechanical Maze City Guild location. It was a massive mechanical castle. At the entrance, a crowd of wealthy elites had gathered wanting to pay to get their children in. And the ones they were fawning over were two guild guards with proud expressions. I couldn't be bothered to line up. Walked directly to the entrance and pulled out that black card given by my auntie from my storage bracelet. The two originally extremely arrogant guards' expressions changed dramatically the moment they saw the card, immediately becoming incredibly respectful and personally leading me inside, and I entered the castle interior with ease, enjoying VIP treatment that no other newcomers had. But I also muttered inwardly. The card given by my auntie seems to be quite well received. In the quest hall that followed, I directly ignored all those ordinary quests and accepted the highest difficulty combat mission. Head to the northeastern border to resist the evil spirit invasion. If we're going to play, let's play something big. I took the temporary identity tag and turned toward the teleportation formation, and was quickly teleported to the border city last city, just landing. I immediately sensed the smell of gunpowder smoke filling the air. Outside the city, a massive blue light barrier was being frantically attacked by monsters. Energy ripples kept spreading. I quickly found the Mechanical Maze City's relay station. Inside, more than 20 young people who had also come to do missions had already gathered. Among them, a guy wearing a blue mage robe spotted me and warmly waved his hand. Brother, you also accepted the Resist Evil Spirit Invasion mission. Come over here and chat. I nodded, walked over, and casually asked about the specific mission details, and a youth who looked like a warrior complained. We need to escort a batch of supplies to the front line. Departure in about an hour. Let me tell you, outside the city there are monsters everywhere now, and once you leave the city, you'll be covered by the Lord Monster's divine authority domain. At that point, storage bracelets and teleportation items will all stop working. We can only risk our lives to deliver it. Who knows which genius came up with this hellish setup? And another fellow who looked quite sharp sized me up from head to toe, then asked, by the way, brother, what's your name? Which combat academy did you graduate from? My name is Yigung, self-taught, not affiliated with anyone. I just replied casually. The words had barely fallen, and the originally fairly warm atmosphere instantly cooled several degrees. Every single one of these people graduated from top domestic combat universities. At the very least, they were notable family scions. Upon hearing I was a nobody without background, although nobody said anything, their eyes revealed distance. But I didn't care at all. Found a spacious corner to sit down, and began resting with my eyes closed. Then, the door of the relay station was pushed open. A tall female holy knight with an ice-cold expression walked in. The moment she appeared, the air in the entire relay station seemed to freeze. Everyone's gaze was instantly drawn to her. The scene immediately stirred with excitement. I looked up and was instantly stunned. What the heck? Why does this girl look exactly like a young version of my auntie? That face. Those peach blossom eyes. They were practically carved from the same mold. Heroic aura. But in terms of temperament, the woman before me radiated a heroic aura that kept strangers away. Completely opposite to my auntie's carefree personality. Senior Linglong, I'm from the school next to yours. In last year's 100 school tournament, I was defeated by you in 3 moves. Do you remember me? A young man approached with a flattering tone. Others also chimed in trying to get close, and that ice beauty just coldly replied, don't remember, and then ignored everyone. But everyone didn't mind her coldness at all, and still hovered around her. After all, she is the granddaughter of a high-ranking elder of Mechanical Maze City, the pride of the imperial capital's Jiang family. If it weren't for the guild rule that even direct relatives must pass the assessment, they would never have a chance to speak with someone of this caliber in their lifetime. Hey, why do you keep staring at me? Jiang Linglong noticed my gaze from the corner, and said with an unfriendly tone. Everyone's gaze instantly focused on me. It's just that the young lady is really too beautiful. A broad-faced guy beside me kindly helped me out of the awkward situation, afraid that I as a nobody would provoke someone I shouldn't. But I spoke bluntly. You look very much like someone I know. Everyone's faces instantly filled with confusion upon hearing this. You're done for. Your pickup line is way too outdated. Jiang Linglong slightly furrowed her brows, but seeing my clear gaze, it didn't look like I was deliberately flirting. She let out a cold snort and didn't pursue it further. Soon it was departure time. Our group escorted 20 truck-sized mountain camels out of the city, just entering a massive forest full of hidden dangers. Hundreds of ferocious beasts pounced from all directions. Everyone immediately drew their weapons and joined the battle. When the broad-faced guy was still struggling in combat with an elite monster, I pulled out my dual guns and began calmly firing precise shots. Bang, bang, bang. With every gunshot, a monster fell in response. The bullets without exception pierced through their most vulnerable eye sockets or throats. Damn. Your marksmanship is really slick, brother. Even fiercer than us formally trained ones. The broad-faced guy was stunned. It's alright, I guess. My skills aren't great, so I can only work on my basic attacks. Armor penetration. But the truth is, every single one of my basic attacks has 100% armor penetration. These tough-skinned, thick-bodied monsters are really no different from cutting tofu. Just at this moment, the mountain camels suddenly stopped in their tracks. 5 forked paths appeared ahead, each leading to a different direction. Everyone instantly erupted into argument, all debating which path to take, while I quietly activated Eye of Revelation, instantly taking in the situation at the end of all 5 paths. Only the middle path was safe. The other 4 paths all had monsters lying in ambush, ready for a feast. I pretended to take 2 deep breaths, then spoke in a profound and mysterious tone. I just sniffed the air. The middle path smells the cleanest. All the others carry a smell of blood. Brother, you have this kind of ability too. The broad-faced guy was shocked again, and although the others were skeptical. But after Zhang Linglong's one sentence of listen to him stop the nonsense, everyone still chose the middle path. The result was completely smooth sailing. Not even a shadow of a ghost was encountered. At the subsequent forks in the road, I used this so-called transcendent level sense of smell to lead everyone in perfectly avoiding all deadly traps. And when we were about to arrive at the frontline position, the intense explosion sounds and battle cries were already deafening. The scene before everyone's eyes made them all gasp sharply. The frontline position had already been overwhelmed by a tidal wave of fishman monsters. The guild member leading the team roared. Zhang Linglong took the lead. Massive wings spread behind her. A golden lightning bolt charged into the battlefield. My heart stirred. Eye of Revelation quietly activated. Zhang Linglong's character information was instantly clear to me. Peak of 4th advancement. No wonder she's so arrogant. Turns out she really has some ability. You should know. The further along the class advancement, the harder it gets. From 3rd to 4th advancement is an enormous barrier that has stopped a large group of heroes cold, because the 4th advancement quest no longer tests just combat strength. It often also involves understanding the laws of the world, or requires completing certain epic level events. The difficulty can be described as hell level, and that she could touch the peak of 4th advancement at the age of university graduation. She truly deserves to be called a top guild elder's granddaughter. At this moment, Zhang Linglong on the battlefield raised her golden broadsword high. Dozens of buff auras bloomed beneath her feet. Crescent-shaped golden sword energy flew out by the hundreds and thousands, slaughtering fishman monsters in swaths. She could even summon a heavenly fortress, bombarding monsters with unlimited firepower amid a background of hallelujah hymns. The combat style comes with its own epic feel. Truly maxed out. I swung my dual guns and followed closely behind, charging into the battlefield. Shell casings flew out relentlessly, every single bullet precisely hitting vital points, harvesting massive amounts of experience. Level 68. Level 69. After leveling up twice in a row. 10 kilometers away. Dozens of level 200 mechanical crocodiles also joined the battlefield. They were natural snipers, capable of firing supersonic fishbone cannons from their mouths that were impossible to guard against. In just an instant, rows of fishbone cannons precisely locked onto the most dazzling Zhang Linglong on the field. Her precarious position was about to be completely overwhelmed by the dense firepower. Zhang Linglong's heart tightened. At this critical moment, I activated bullet time. The entire world in my eyes instantly slowed down 100-fold. Those fishbone cannons that were moving at extreme speed were now moving as slowly as snails swimming through the air. Bang, bang, bang. I raised my dual guns and fired a round of precise countershots at those incoming fishbone cannons. Every single bullet precisely collided with a fishbone cannon, exploding into clusters of energy sparks. How is this possible? Zhang Linglong's pupils contracted sharply, looking at me in disbelief. Using bullets to intercept supersonic bullets. Is this marksmanship that a human can achieve? Why do you keep staring at me? I asked casually. Isn't that my line? Zhang Linglong's face turned red, remembering the exact same words she had said to me when they first met. Her heart filled with both embarrassment and shock. After resolving all the attacks, I casually raised my hand and fired several shots toward the mountain peak direction 10 kilometers away. At such a far distance, your bullets simply cannot hit anything, Zhang Linglong reminded, because she also didn't know the enemy's exact location. No worries. Let the bullets fly for a bit. I just smiled mysteriously, found a casual excuse to slip away, and turned into a fleeting shadow, disappearing from the battlefield. Of course, I wasn't going after those small fry snipers. My target was only one. The final boss causing all this chaos. Just a few seconds after I left, I lightly snapped my fingers. 10 kilometers away, a earth-shaking explosion equivalent to nearly 500 tons of TNT erupted. Those dozens of crocodile snipers along with the mountain they were on were blown away. And at this moment, I had already crossed dozens of kilometers of battlefield, arriving in the airspace above the core area. And the scene before my eyes made even me unable to help but gasp sharply. At the most forward position, a mechanical octopus as large as a skyscraper was brandishing more than a dozen metal tentacles, frantically lashing across the battlefield. Its every strike was accompanied by the ground cracking and space distorting. And around it, dozens of powerful high-ranking Dragon Nation powerhouses were at this moment being forced to retreat step by step. Monster information name: Evil Spirit Modified Mechanical Crane. Level 400. Attack: 1,638,392. The mechanical crane's base plate opened. Thousands of thick laser beams poured down like a rainstorm, plowing the earth into scorched black ravines. More than a dozen high-ranking mechanists roared and slammed both hands to the ground. More than a dozen massive energy reflection mirrors appeared out of thin air, attempting to deflect the laser beams back. However, the dense range of tens of thousands of lightning beams was too vast. Our quantum reflectors can't hold. But the mechanical crane just brutally swung two tentacles and smashed them hard onto the reflection mirrors. A brittle shattering sound instantly rang out. More than a dozen reflection mirrors instantly exploded into scattered light everywhere. Those more than a dozen mechanists were sent flying by the violent shockwave. Don't clash directly with it. Cut off its tentacles, otherwise we can't get close at all. An elder with completely white hair and beard wearing mechanical maze city elder robes roared. Move out. More than 60 powerhouses understood immediately, all unleashing their strongest skills. In an instant, sword energy crisscrossed. Thunder dragons roared. Massive fireballs and ice spikes interweaved into a colorful torrent of skills, bombarding the mechanical crane's tentacles fiercely. And under everyone's fierce assault, several of the mechanical crane's massive tentacles snapped in response. Well done. Everyone had just seen a glimmer of hope, but the next second, the mechanical crane's entire body became wrapped in blinding electrical arcs. Those shattered armor pieces instantly flowed back, reassembling and growing into new mechanical tentacles. The newly grown tentacles with even more terrifying power lashed fiercely toward the crowd. Several class changers couldn't dodge in time and were sent flying on the spot. This beast can even regenerate severed limbs. Every powerhouse present felt their hearts sink to despair. Who would have thought it not only has a steel body, but also retained the most disgusting regenerative ability of evil spirit creatures? Someone watching Crane begin moving toward the city in the rear cried out in despair. No, this monster is heading to Last City. And at this moment, that mechanical maze city elder was breathing heavily, fists tightly clenched, eyes filled with rage. This evil spirit originally appeared within Cold Nation's borders, but was driven all the way using special items by them, and was forcibly pushed to our Dragon Nation's border. These guys just want to use others to do their dirty work, using these monsters to deplete our combat strength, not just Cold Nation. A powerhouse resembling a general nearby said with hatred. There are also those small Southeast Asian nations, and the Eagle Nation across the sea all have the shadow of Eagle Empire behind them. They don't dare confront us directly, so they use this wolf pack strategy, constantly causing us trouble along the long borderline, so our elite combat strength cannot be concentrated. Wait. Clear the way for me. I refuse to believe I can't kill this thing, even by self-destructing. A flash of determination passed through the elder's eyes. Everyone quickly tried to stop him. Fine. If you're going to sacrifice yourself, first leave me the address of their base. And just as everyone fell into despair and grief, someone suddenly pointed at the sky and shouted with a trembling voice. Everyone instinctively looked up, only to see in the pitch black night sky, a massive object radiating sacred and majestic aura was rapidly descending. It was a cyber thousand-hand Guanyin several hundred meters tall, carrying unparalleled might and howling down from 10,000 meters above. And I was standing at the very top looking down at all of this. I had already issued automatic combat instructions to the cyber Guanyin. At this moment, the cyber Guanyin was like a heavenly god descending to earth. With one palm, it pinned that extremely arrogant mechanical crane firmly to the ground, smashing it to pieces. The terrifying shockwave sent everything around flying outward. When the smoke and dust cleared, my cyber Guanyin statue stood towering in the center of the battlefield, stepping on the remains of the mechanical crane. Oh damn, isn't this the cyber Guanyin from the news? How is it alive again? Forget it. It seems to be here to help us. Last City is saved. Powerhouses were both shocked and delighted. But the next second, the mechanical crane, under the control of that blue evil spirit figure in its brain, actually began reassembling once again. The cyber Guanyin's electronic eyes blazed with red light. As if enraged by this little bug's provocation, it directly swung thousands of mechanical arms, launching a storm-like fierce assault on the just starting to reassemble mechanical octopus. Crane's tentacles had barely grown out, when 3 or 4 Guanyin arms grabbed and directly tore them off, and its laser beams hitting the Guanyin's golden light shield couldn't even stir a single ripple. The class changers in the distance watched with blood boiling, cheering wildly. Finally, the evil spirit figure realized this mysterious existence, before it was simply something it could not shake. After letting out a shrill scream, controlling only the remaining core body, it fled in panic toward Cold Nation's direction without looking back. Good running. That's exactly what I wanted. I looked at this scene and showed a wicked smile. At the same time, in Cold Nation's tactical command building, a congressman was smugly saying to his subordinates, "The trouble at Dragon Nation's border is the best tribute we can offer to Eagle Empire." I feel as if I can already see the fireworks of victory. But the words had barely fallen. A world-shaking explosion comparable to the sky collapsing and earth splitting arrived. The entire building shook violently. The congressman's expression changed drastically, and he rushed out the door like a madman, only to see on their nation's borderline an incomparably massive world-destroying flame was slowly rising.